Then there's a second daughter called Neurocon. They are located in Ilmenau, and they manufacture and develop neurofeedback devices, TDCS devices, which is a different way of brain stimulation. You have an AC and a DC stimulation systems with electrodes, which is quite different to this product, which we later have a deep dive in.
Okay.
And they have also EEG devices and QEEG. So mainly focusing on research, but also some of their products are relevant for clinical use, especially I would say the neurofeedback devices, which we come later to speak.
Okay.
Today the focus of today and tomorrow is obvious. The product which is already in Nigeria, the PowerMac. So we will have there a theoretical part, and then also a lot of practical training, hands-on, so that you are familiar how to use, safely use, how to set up, and then also how to make the treatment. Right, this is the first part. And now we go directly into, wo ist die Ferne? Ja. Das war die Kamera.
Ich habe einfach so eine
I'd like to start with the physical basics and the definition of terms for TMS. What is TMS? TMS stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. Indeed, one could argue that it's not a magnetic but the electric stimulation. So the coil itself is designed to produce a magnetic field, but obviously it is also electromagnetic. So one could argue maybe it should be TES, but the term TMS is well established, and so everybody worldwide stick to the term TMS. So transcranial meaning it goes through the skull, and this electromagnetic field has a penetration rate up to 2.5 centimeters, and there is the location where we want to have the treatment in order to have these positive effects, especially on depression.
Okay.
There are some different technologies. You have on the one hand side single pulses, and then you have the bipolar pulses. So a single pulse is a 1 TMS pulse. Then you have the repetitive TMS pulses, which is the standard currently for treating depression, the RTMS. And quite relatively new is, let's see. Okay. In addition to the stimulation of the brain, there is also the possibility of a functional stimulation of the peripheral, like the arms and the legs.
Okay.
In that case, you only stimulate. Okay? Maybe you want to add?
You stimulate directly on the maybe you have a stroke, you had a stroke and you had an hemiplegia. You couldn't move your arm.
Paralysis.
Yes, and then you can put the coil directly on the arm and stimulate there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Sorry, quick question. Do I write my questions in the book? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
You can ask directly.
Okay.
Maybe it's even better you ask directly. We are a little group, so.
Okay. So you can use the same machine for transcranial and peripheral, the same machine?
Yes, same machine, yes.
That's right. Okay.
And there is also a second field where the TMS treatment has really good results. and this is with neuropathic or chronic pain.
Right.
Okay.
In this field, the results are really promising, and it is worth trying it if you have a patient with such a disease.
Okay.
Yeah. So the whole idea is depending on to activate the neurons by stimulating with this electromagnetic field. We will later see this in detail, but this is just to give you a first impression about how what's happening. So you have this electromagnetic field, and you have a penetration rate up to 2.5 centimeters, and at that location there is a positive effect if you stimulate that location or that region of the brain. Yeah, so I would jump to the next. Important to know is that with this power maker, or with this stimulator, we are talking about really high voltage and also high currencies. So here, at the end, you have 2 to 3 Teslas, which are generated here at the coil. And the stimulator itself increases the voltage 10 times, which comes out of the socket. So important to know that you have to have certain safety routines in order for the user and also the patient to run safely. But in the last 20 years, there have been a lot of safety measurements done by the manufacturers and the developers. So these systems nowadays, they are really easy to use and safe to run. Yeah, here it says we have 2 to 3 Tesla, which the coil itself forms. And here you can also see within this cable you have up to around 6,000 amperes, which is really strong. All right. Maybe I will hop over this because we will have this intensively later in the hands-on. Just for theoretical information, magnetic coil is placed tangentially over the targeted area. We will come later on this with a 45-degree angle. There are some quirks to know how to place and use the system, that you have the effect you want on the patient.